Welcome again. It is still Good Morning, Anambra, and this is our discussion segment where we have lined up about one or two topics to look at today as you sit back and watch and also participate because this is audience participatory. Welcome again. Now, the topic to look at this morning is a very crucial one. You may have heard that the Anambra State House of Assembly has passed a new bill, and this time it is on the Commission, Anambra State House of Assembly Commission bill. That is what we are looking at this morning, and we have gentlemen that have joined us to look at that. The first person is Chief Edozie Ezowa, SSA to Governor Obiano on legislative and labor matters. We welcome you to our studio, sir.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
And seated very close to him is Honorable Victor Jidofo Okoye. Jidofo Okoye is the majority leader, Anambra State House of Assembly, and the member representing Anambra West in the House of Assembly is also the committee chairman on police affairs, security, and anti-corruption. We welcome you to the studio, Jidofo.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, and I still have Dave with me. Now, the Anambra State House of Assembly recently passed a bill establishing the Anambra State House of Assembly Service Commission. The bill, which was sponsored by Barrister Chubo Enwuzo and 26 others, was passed into law a few days ago. The commission, according to the bill, shall comprise the chairman and the 4 other members, with at least 1 member drawn from each of the 3 senatorial zones in the state. And now that we have the people that should know very well about this bill, let's start asking questions. And I'm going to start with you, Honorable Jidofo. Could you please throw more light on the aim of this bill?
Okay. Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, ma'am. It's not easy to come by, and this very bill is now is a law. Is a bill that is not easy. It started with the meetings of the speakers of the Speakers Forum of the State House of Assembly. In the 4th Assembly, they tried to pass this very bill, but it was not assented by the then governor of the state. Then in the 5th Assembly, our 5th Assembly, we were given the opportunity, I think that was the 3rd Amendment for House of Assembly autonomy, which some states didn't vote yes to it, so it failed. So we thought of passing this bill, the House of Assembly Service Commission, then we found out that it would be of no use to pass it because we don't have autonomy. So in this 6th Assembly, the Speakers Forum took it upon themselves to go to National Assembly. They pleaded with the National Assembly members in this past 4th alteration, the 4th Amendment, to include the House of Assembly autonomy in the 4th Amendment. You know how it went? It was like a joke because they were like, have you people woken up? The last time we asked you to pass it, but you refused. Now, are you sure you are serious about it? They said that they were serious. So, and they started. So the process wasn't easy.
Let me come a bit. They asked you to pass it the other time and you refused. What was the reason of the House of Assembly?
We have many houses of assembly in Nigeria. So you need 2/3 majority vote
across the houses
of assembly to vote for it. So it failed because some of the houses of assembly didn't vote yes.
Okay.
But when you talk about the autonomy of the House of Assembly, some of us might get confused because they say the legislative arm of the government is independent of every other one. So can you explain what you mean by not having autonomy yet?
Even when you are independent.
Yes, sometimes it's easy to say that we're supposed to be independent.
Okay.
But in writing and in practice, we were not independent. You know, until the amendment of this fourth alteration, which gave us that autonomy. You know, you cannot say that you are independent while you cannot manage your own fund, you cannot employ, you cannot discipline your workers. Okay. So all those things, those are things that are supposed to make you independent. It's not about saying that you are independent. And with this now, you can so with this House of Assembly Service Commission, we can employ, we can discipline our staff. It will not be the head of service, head of civil service commission sending staff to us or workers to us and transfer them at their own will. Now the House of Assembly, after this service commission, now will have the right to employ, discipline, promote, and pay their staff.
Yeah, we'll still go in details there. Now let's come to you, Ezogwa, Honorable Ezogwa. How do you see this bill? Does it promote good relationship between the legislative and then the executive arm?
Yes, it's a welcome development, and it's democracy in action. Now we are coming to the full, glass of what they call democracy should be. When you go to Constitution, how the Constitution define the arms of the government, the executive, the legislators, and the judiciary. You understand me? So you know quite all right that each are on their own with their full authority. Generally, they have it. You have Judicial Service Commission. You have the National Assembly Commission. You have Civil Service Commission, local government, and why not the State House of Assembly Service Commission? It's a continuation. It's not that they just come from the moon. It's there already. Just like he mentioned now, that they requires in the last alteration they made, requires 2/3. 2/3 it means is that 2/3 of the entire states that make up Nigeria, that should be about 24, to say yes, we are prepared to have it. Now they have, accepted it. That is in action. It is now left to all other states to make sure that all these are implemented. So it's just for purpose of administrative purposes. Administrative purposes, you recruit your staffs, discipline your staffs, promotions, and other things. The only thing is that when you go there, their own cadre will be quite different. Then you now look at the compositions of the board or whatever that is going to be there, and the procedures of appointments in which they...
Okay, we're coming to the composition of the board.
Okay.
Let's take a short break now to bring you some messages. We are coming back very shortly.
Next. Lagbaja. Omo Baba Muko.
Na Baba be that.
How do I know you are not an impostor? Oya, play me something.
Abba, my band members are all over the world. Let me connect with them on Glow 4G and make some great music for you.
Who's on Glow here?
I got Glow.
I've got Glow too.
I go show you.
Hello, sir.
Aleki, Gogo, Jide, guitar. Uzo, give me conga. Ahmed, keyboard.
1, 2, 3.
No matter where you are in the world, rest assured, Glow has you covered. Glow Oga SIM, the unrivaled big boss of data. Upgrade to a 4G SIM for free and get 125% bonus. Also enjoy 25% data bonus on all auto renewals. Dial *777# to choose.
It's good to have you back. It is still Good Morning, Anambra, and we are serving it very fresh to you from ABS, wherever you're watching. Do join us, and in a very short while we'll open the phone lines and we'll start talking with you. I still have Honorable Chief Edozie Ezogwa in the house and Honorable Victor Jidofo Okoye. You're still welcome, gentlemen. Now let's start looking at the content of this bill. What is in this bill? We have talked about the chairman and the members that comprise this bill. That's 4 members from the House of Assembly. And then the ones drawn from the 3 senatorial. So what are the contents of this bill?
Yeah, for the bill to work out, the House of Assembly, in our own initiative, believe that the House, through the Speaker, is supposed to send about 7 names to the governor to recommend 7 members that are qualified, and send it to the governor to appoint the chairman and then members. And for equity reason, we decided that each of the member must come, one must come from one senatorial zone, so that all the senatorial zones must be represented. So sending about 7 is for His Excellency to have a choice.
Okay. 7 from where? 4 from the House of Assembly?
No, 7 from the House of Assembly.
All of them from the House of Assembly?
No, the
all
House of Assembly will send 7 names.
From where?
3 from each
members.
Senatorial zone. No, not House of Assembly members,
okay.
but qualified members from Anambra State.
Okay. Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Qualified members from Anambra State.
Okay.
So House of Assembly now is duty bound to send those names, not like governor nominating.
Okay.
Now we nominate.
And the executive approve.
And the executive approve.
Okay.
Okay. Then with the House resolution, those people will now become the chairman and the members of the House Service Commission.
Okay, now.
So with this commission, excuse me, with this commission, you still need approval from the executive for the members that will come?
No. We send the name to the governor. We nominate and they send to the governor to appoint approval of the chairman and the members.
Okay.
So they will come back again with the House resolution, they will be confirmed.
Okay.
To be authentic.
So now, looking at this arrangement, when you have the Service Commission, they will be there to discipline. With the independence of the House of Assembly or the full autonomy in the 4th alteration made, wouldn't there be, will I say, kind of loggerheads between the clerk and the commission when it comes to managing the daily activities of the House?
No. There is another bill that goes together with the Service Commission. The bill is called Fund Management Bill. So in issue of fund management is stipulated there in that bill. The one that the commission will handle and the one that the clerk and the speaker will handle. For the approval, the speaker makes the approval, then the clerk makes sure that it's well disbursed and managed, and the accounting officer.
Fund management bill. Has that one been passed today?
No, we will pass it today.
Today?
Yes.
And when that
we have
is
started
passed?
it, we have not finished, so we still have some clauses remaining, and we are going to pass it today. And both bill goes together. So when you talk of autonomy,
both of them.
Financial autonomy too.
Yes.
And then what is the implication of this, Chief Ezowa? When this bill is passed today, and with the Service Commission having been passed, what is the implication?
Well, the implication is that gradually they are taking off, and you will see the democracy in actions. Then we will start to, because it has not been, obtaining before in Anambra State or in any other state before. So this is the first time. Will be a lot of things are going to come up. We'll have hiccups here and there, but we have to manage it as it comes. It's a very good development. If they succeed in passing it today, then we'll begin to look at it. It takes a little time for those, that is going to involve the stakeholders, for them to understand fully what it means. And we begin to, know. Then Excellency has to be involved, the executive has to be involved, and the judiciary has to be involved, because eventually on the process, one way or the other, there must have been.
Because on this basis is where my next question will come from. Just like you said, we are still growing in this democracy process. Yeah. And the legislative arm is one specific identification of democracy. Yeah. Now, when you talk about the, independence of the legislature, how would funds now be disbursed? Yeah. Does it mean the executive will still collect from federal government and then give to the legislature? Or would it mean that you now collect directly and draw your own budget directly from the federal government?
That's exactly what it is going to entail. Because now judicially started their own now. Because you people, maybe you don't take notice of that. Judiciary have started their own now. But on the other way, they are meeting all kinds of, bobs here and there. But it's not always easy, because eventually it might come back to executives to seek one way or the other for assistance. It's a burden initially to the executives for them to carry that burden of the legislators and the judiciary in the state level, because no matter whatever happens, you have to fund them. And you have to fund them based on the revenue IGR are raising. You might have a budget of maybe 100 billion, 200 billion a year. At the end of the day, IGR might be not up to what it's supposed to be, and there is a vacuum. And all these bodies, the assembly will come up with their expenditures. Then the judiciary will always be on the head of the executives. And then they will begin to, buy pressures that you must do this. We have this in our budget and this kind of thing, This time around, you must have to carry your own cross as we go. Like he mentioned, the management.
Let's talk to the people on the streets, and when we come, we are going to talk more on that. I want you to react on that when we are coming back. Please, let's talk.
Direction, and these chairs of the government are supposed to be independent of themselves to avoid the executive meddling into their affairs or influencing their decisions.
If in totality, which I believe, the bill cannot say without some reserve, then the bill will be bad. But if, in spite of the aspiration to be independent, there are still checks and balances by the executive and then the judiciary, then there's nothing wrong in the bill.
We have 3 tiers of government. The legislature is there, the executive is there, and the judiciary is there. They're all independent of one another. So I don't know, they are not attached to the executive arm like as if they are answerable to the executive arm of government. It's just because most of them in the legislature don't really know the powers they have. If they really know the power that they have, they don't have to be answerable to the executive. So they don't even need to pass such bill. Why pass the bill? But when you're already, even the Constitution has given you the authority that armed you to be free from the executive. Why pass another, whether you call it commission or whatever? Why pass such bill? That you want to be free of what? Free from who? Who asked you to be answerable to the executive in the first instance?
Okay, good to have you back. We are still rolling, and then it's good that you participate too, wherever you are. The numbers on your screen, call us and say something. Yes, before we went on this break, the Honorable Victor wanted to react to the question that was asked. Now that are you going to draw your budgets and then perhaps source your fund to
what
fund
does that
your
mean?
budgets?
Actually, it's going to show the check and balance in the funding. There is something we call first line charge. So most of those House of Assembly budget now will be in a first line charge.
What does that mean?
It means that immediately the state government gets the allocation or the internal generated revenue, they will treat the budget of House of Assembly as a first instance. They remove whatever that belongs to House of Assembly, remove whatever that belongs to judiciary. Then manage their own. That's what it means. That's first line charge. Then before that, the leadership of the House of Assembly and the executive will sit down and draw a template. Okay. You cannot just say, give me 1 billion and they will give you 1 billion. You understand? Okay. It depends on what they have. So they will sit down and draw a template. So after that template, then they will be working based on that template.
Okay, so someone wants to join us. Hello? Hello? Lower the volume on your TV so that we can hear. Okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
So then if they receive the money in a month, then they will send the one that belongs to House of Assembly to House of Assembly. Then House of Assembly will now manage their own fund. Okay? And like an issue of a constituency project, they will discuss it with the executive. the issue of salary is known already. Then employment. No, they don't discuss employment. Okay, yeah, they discuss employment based on the budget of the state, because state still have to give them money to make the payment. So you don't just employ everybody and have a bunch of people in your this thing, and you expect the executive to have all the money to pay them. So they still have to agree with the executive. But once they agreed on it, then they bring out the template and then they start working on it.
Okay.
And remember that the president has inaugurated a committee to look into it, to make sure that all the State House of Assembly starts implementing the.
Yes, I was going to ask you that, whether we are the first state that is having this Assembly Commission.
Enugu has passed their own.
Okay.
Imo State, they have already been working with
Is it just Southeast? Do we have any other states?
Yeah, but in the north, some of the states have been working. They already have service commission.
On the process.
Like now we have service commission in the local government, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, no, we do. Okay, we are coming. Then I wanted to find out from you, Ezowa, please, how does this bill affect the life of a common Anambrarian, an ordinary Anambrarian on the streets? Or is this just House of Assembly issue?
No, on the other way. It will help in streamlining some administrative problems, hiccups we are having between the executives and the administrators. Once it takes up, yes, like he mentioned now, we are still going to have people employed, workers employed on that process. Then it goes ahead to consolidate their democracy. Then Anambarians will start seeing a new developments.
Okay, someone wants to join us, maybe. Hello. Hello, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Anambra. Your name and where you're calling us from? Hello, go on. Before you call us in, lower the volume on your TV so that we won't be having bounce backs. Okay.
So as I was saying, if we go into the body of this, you see the administrative structures laid down, made up of the clerks of the house as the head there. Then under it you have a deputy clerks, the medicals and the rest of them. Then you have accounting, section department. You have maintenance sections. You have the
in
political
terms of employment.
Yes, administrative matters and all kinds of business well streamlined. So these are the areas where they are still going to need people outside and not within the limited number we are having at the moment now.
Okay, let's look at this, because when I was going through that bill and its contents, there's this statement that was made by Chief Boniface Okonkwo, the chairman of the Committee of Services, and they said that the bill will enable the House discharge its duties creditably without any form of interference. And one is wondering, what does that mean? Does it mean there has always been interference, and from which quarters?
Sure, there is always executive interference, and you cannot run away from it. You understand? But having this bill or passing this bill now will help the legislators. It will help them in many ways. We used to hear approval. It's when you are in the ministry or in the administration that you hear the word approval, warrant. You are all those languages that this thing will go through approval. After approval, it will go again warrant. After warrant, then you hear another one, release. You understand? So, but now if they have if this service commission is working, then those languages will disappear.
Okay.
Then everything will be domiciled in the State House of Assembly from the commission. So it won't be taking them long. They won't be going to the executive to be begging for 1 naira, 2 naira, or 3 naira, So the relationship with the executive now will be cordial. It will not be everyday money.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, I would like to thank you very much, Chief Edozie Ezowa, SSA to Governor Obiano on legislative and labor matters. Thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. and Honorable Victor Jidofo Okoye, Majority Leader, Anambra State House of Assembly, and member representing Anocha West. Anambra West, sorry. Anambra West. And then the committee chairman on police affairs, security, and anti-corruption. Big office you're occupying. Thank you very much for joining us. A very big one indeed. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Okay, and we thank you for joining us, those of you that watched and then participated by hearing or watching. It's okay, but we're still here. We are coming up with another segment, so don't go too far.